We'll be putting a 250cc Ninja motor into this Sprint frame. First thing we want to do is I'll take this cardboard template and I'll mark the distance between the upper and lower rear engine mounts. Now that I have that distance, I can see how far from the side of the frame the chain needs to run to make sure our chain's aligned. All I'm doing here is sticking a few pieces of straight metal right down the line, and I can measure the distance between the frame mount and where the chain would be. I always want our chain straight. So once I have the distance between the upper and lower, I just mark them on this cardboard template. And then on the other side, I'll mark the upper and lower rear engine mounts. Once I have that, I can just transfer that to some aluminum, cut it out, make two of them exactly the same, and we're good to go. I'm going to test fit that on the back of the motor. I need to understand what the distance is between the frame mounts. So I'm just putting some all thread through there and marking it. Now if I take that distance between the frame mounts minus the distance between the mounts on the motor, I'll know what size spacers I need on each side of the motor. I'll subtract that from the right side of the screen, left side of the bike, from where we marked our chain straight line. That way the chain stays straight, the motor stays straight and true, front to back, and we'll know the distance of the spacer on the right side, rider's left side of the frame. Now that we have our spacers made and our bolt to go through the frame, we'll move the motor into place. Work smarter. You don't need to hold it. Now after I get this into place, I'm going to hook the bolt straight through the frame, along with all the spacers and the engine mounts that we made out of aluminum. And in order to make it easy on myself, I'm going to hook up the bottom motor mounts first. So as you can see, it basically just is swinging there. So there's a lot of movement on the bottom. After I get the bottom hooked up, I can tilt the motor back and hook in the top. Just slide the bolt through the top motor mounts. Now the back is secure. Throw these nuts on here so the spacing stays similar front to back. I'm going to double check and make sure I have a straight line between the sprocket and where we measured the chain to be. Now looking at the angle of the motor, in order to get the right measurements, I need to prop the motor up to make sure that we have the right angle. We don't want oil starvation or anything like that. An angle very similar to stock is preferred. And that's our progress. Got the motor mounted with the back engine mounts.